Krishna Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udavadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Hitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Badan Ganalalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya Mam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asyatadeshatarine Namahom Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Niti Namine Srivarshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Deenadarine Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagyamurtaye Vipralamda Rasambode Adambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumesvam Nirdesha Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishay Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Upaswarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Adha Kanta Namostute Tam Suratur Pangur Mamanda Matergati Matsarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrimadaha Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prashralivisevyamano Smarami Sriman Rasarasarambhi Vamshivata Tatastita Karsham Veno Swanir Gopir गोपीनाथः श्रेयस्तुनः तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So when he saw Kali surrendered to him, and he thought, okay, I should not kill him. So Kali, then he says, okay, I will not kill you because you have taken shelter of me, but you have to leave the country. You have to leave the country, kingdom. So then, hearing these words of Parikshit Maharaj, Kali he started speaking. 36th verse onwards, first canto, first 17th chapter. Yatra kvavadavatsyami sarabhauma tavajana lakshase tatra tatrapi tvam ateshu sharasanam. Okay. Oh king, you are the king of the entire world. Sarvabhauma tava agnya sarvabhauma. You are the king of the entire world. Now wherever I go, you say get out of the country, isn't it? And the whole world is your country. Where will I go now? That is the argument. And even if I go to some place where you are not seen, but I am seeing you. Because of the fear, when you are afraid of someone, then you always see that person, isn't it? You always see, oh, wherever you look, you find, oh, that person is coming, that person is coming. You always see that I have to follow your order, I will see you only. How will I see? Not just with smiling face, but I will see you. Tvam ateshu sharasanam. With your bow and arrow in your hand, I am going to see you always. I will directly see you wherever I go, lakshase, moving around wherever I go. So therefore, kill me. Better you kill me, because I will be dying at every second wherever you go. So now, please give me a place to stay, because you just cannot say that get out of my country. Next, 37th verse. Tanme dharam navtam sreshta sthanam nirdeshtum arhasi yatraiva nihatyo vatsya aishtanste nushasanam. No, you are a dharma vritam. You are the upholders of dharma. That is why you did not kill me, because you thought that one who has taken shelter should not be killed. So now you are dharma vritam. Because you are dharma vritam, you told that get out of the country. The whole world is your country. And where will I go? And since I am a citizen in your country, you are supposed to give me a place where I can stay. So, Dharma Vritam Sreshta, topmost of all those who practice Dharma, Sthanam Nirdeshtum Arhasi. You should give me Nirdishta Sthana, means a place which is designated for me. Where Yatraiva Niyata Vatsya, where I can stay permanently. Atishtam ne Anushashanam, and I will be under your Anushasana only. Where will I go? I will be in your Anushashan, I will be in your this thing, but I will not. You have to give me a place. So, since you are not killing me, or best is you kill me. If you don't kill me, what you do? Give me a place where I can stay. How can I not be killed at the same time I don't have a place to stay? So that is what he is speaking about. So read the purport. 37th.
The personality of Kali addressed Maharaj Parikshit as a chief amongst the protectors of religiosity, because the king refrained from killing a person who surrendered unto him. A surrendered soul should be given all protection, even though he may be an enemy. That is the principle of religion. And we can just imagine what sort of protection is given by the personality of Godhead to the person who surrenders unto him, not as an enemy, but as a devoted servitor. The Lord protects the surrendered soul from all sins and all resultant reactions of sinful acts. Bhagavad Gita 1966.
So that is the power of Sharanagati. So when you surrender, then you are protected. Next, 38. Suta uvacha abhyadittistada tasmai sthanani kalaye dadau yutam param striyasuna yatra dharmaschaturvidaha. Then Parikshit Maharaj told, okay, Kali, you can stay at those places. Abhyartitastada tasmai, after he begged, no, please give me a place to stay. Sthanani kalaye dadau. Sthanani, he gave 4 places for him to stay. So what are the 4 places? Yutam, Panam, Striyaha, Shunaha. Yutam means gambling. Panam means intoxication, wine. Striyaha means those who are illicit activities, unmarried women or unprotected women. Shuna means where there is animal sacrifice. Yatra adharmas chaturvidaha. Yatra adharmaha, these are the 4 adharmas. Chaturvidaha, definitely you will be, you can stay there. Yuta means gambling. Pana means drinking wine. Striya means unmarried women who are into illicit activities. Shunaha, killing other living entities. And with the appearance of these, when there is Yuta, there is lies. You have to tell lies in gambling. And then there is truthfulness is lost. And when it comes to intoxication, then intoxication, I have discussed yesterday, it can apply to both. Tapasya is also lost, and also mercy is also lost. And illicit activities that will create himsa, impurity, violence of other living entities would create all kinds of adharma. So this is read the second paragraph only. Jiva Goswami.
Srila Jiva Goswami directs that drinking against such spiritual principles as those which govern the Sutramani Yagya, association with women outside marriage, and killing animals against the injection of scriptures are irreligious. In the Vedas, 2 different types of injections are there. One type for the Pavitras, or those who are engaged in material enjoyment, and other type for the Nivrittas, or those who are engaged in becoming liberated from material bondage. The Vedic injection for the Pravritras is gradually regulate their activities towards the path of liberation. Therefore, for those who are in the lowest stage of ignorance and who indulge in wine and women and flesh drinking by performing Sutramani Yagya, association of women by marriage, and flesh eating by sacrifice are sometimes recommended. Such a recommendation in the Vedic literature are meant for particular class of men and not for all. But because they are injunctions of the Vedas for particular type of person, such activities by the Pravritras are not considered adharma. One man's food may be poison for other. Similarly, what is recommended for those in the mode of ignorance may be poison for those in the mode of goodness. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu therefore affirms that recommendation in the scripture for a certain class of men are never to be considered adharma or irreligious. But such activities are factually adharma and they are never to be encouraged. The recommendation in the scriptures are not meant for encouragement of such adharma, but for regulating the necessary adharma gradually towards the path of dharma.
Yeah. So if somebody is following a particular kind of scriptures or meant for mode of ignorance, so you cannot call it adharma. For them it is dharma. In the same way, those are practitioners of other religious principles, so-called religious principles. They are so-called, but for them you cannot call them the adharma. Like sometimes you say, ye dharma hai, wo dharma hai, ye dharma hai. Islam dharma hai, wo dharma hai. So, they do all. So it is for a particular kind of people. You cannot call it adharma. At the same time, you cannot call it adharma also. So that is how it is. Even in the Vedic literature, there are some people who practice some kind of lower category of Ishta sacrifice, of Atharva Veda. Since they are Vedic, they are coming under some clause of Vedic. So you cannot call them adharma. For them it is so, but that cannot be accepted as dharma for universal purposes. Okay.
Regarding cow killing that is mentioned in either Quran or Christianity, there is one prodigal son story comes, which we also quote. So actually, in the actual story of course, I don't know which version of that Christian scripture, but it says that when the father comes to that son is come, he'll say, okay, now cut a bull and give a feast to all the people and all. So is it really cow killing is mentioned, or it's interpolated scriptures it is there?
Cow killing is not mentioned neither in Bible or Quran. Goat is there. Human sacrifice is also there. Cut your own son, snake, he cuts. All these things, tamasic. In a Vedic system also there are some people who practice human sacrifice. They are there. But cow is not there. Ashwamedha, Gomedha is there. But that is a sacrifice where you give the cow a human life immediately, or again it is meant to take birth again. So that is there. Gomedha, Ashwamedha is there, Gomedha is there. Gomedha is not just killing the cow. It's a particular kind of sacrifice to see the efficacy of the mantra, by which either you give the human life to the cow. It is not the same. The Vedic sacrifices, though it is tamasic, is something different from the non-Vedic sacrifices which are mentioned in the non-Vedic religions. Not of difference.
It's an interpolated thing. Later on somebody has answered.
For them, they interpreted fruit juice as wine and food as meat. This is their originally Bible was in a language called Aramaic. When they interpreted, like when we say let's have prasad, means it is understood it is vegetarian. Now if you go to somewhere in Europe and say let's have lunch, what does it mean? Let's have food, what does it mean? It is flesh, it's meat. Isn't it? So when Jesus said, I'll give you water and food, that was interpreted as wine and food. So a lot of things have happened. The original Bible is not it's not original. There are a lot of interpretations in that, a lot of things which are removed. The theory of karma is removed, and so many things were removed. Even the birthday of Jesus is changed. December 25th became birthday of Jesus. But many Christians don't accept it as a birthday of Jesus. So many problems. When it was translated from Aramaic to Hebrew, Hebrew to Greek, English, so many things. Because at the time, the kings, whatever they did not accept, they could not see that Bible is having that, so they removed those parts. Next. Punaschaya chamanaya chatarupam madat prabhu tadurtam madam kamam Rajo Vairam Cha Panchamam. So, Punascha Yachamanaya. Again, Kali begged him, you give one more place for me to stay? Why? Because under your kingship. Do you think anybody will involve in these four activities? There will be no prostitution, there is no illicit activities, there will be no gambling, there is no intoxication, and there is no question of any animal killing. And you told me to stay at those places where these four are happening, and nobody is going to do. Where I am going to stay now? No one will perform. First, I should, if really you want, I should stay at these places. People should start doing these things. For people to do these things, I should enter their mind, isn't it? I should enter their mind. So give me a place where I can stay. So all these four things are performed when there is excessive wealth. Gold, silver, all these things are there. Okay, you can stay where people have accumulated more wealth than required, gone. Over. Kali starts because of accumulation of wealth. Heavy accumulation of wealth. Sangraha, that is the problem. That is where adharma starts, and in this way all these things happen. That is why tato ridam madam kamam rajo vairam cha panchamam. So panchamam, wherever in that place there will be untruthfulness, intoxication, illicit, pride, enmity, and wherever there is gold, gold is the place where all these things come. So panchamam, 4 plus 1 became 5. Panchamam is 5. Read the purport.
Although Maharaj Parikshit gave Kali permission to live in 4 places, it was very difficult for him to find the places, because during the reign of Maharaj Parikshit there were no such places. Therefore, Kali asked the king to give him something practical which could be utilized for his nefarious purposes. Maharaj Parikshit thus gave him permission to live in a place where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there are all the above mentioned 4 things, and over and above them there is enmity also. So the personality of Kali became gold standardized. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, gold encourages falsity, intoxication, prostitution, envy, and enmity. Even a gold standard exchange and currency is bad. Gold standard currency is based on falsehood because the currency is not on a par with the reserved gold. The basic principle is falsity because currency notes are issued in value beyond that of the actual reserved gold. This artificial inflation of currency by the authorities encourages prostitution of the state economy. The price of commodities becomes artificially inflated because of bad money or artificial currency notes. Bad money drives away good money. Instead of paper currency, actual gold coins should be used for exchange, and this will stop prostitution of gold. Gold ornaments for women may be allowed by control, not by quality but by quantity. This will discourage lust, envy, and enmity. When there is actual gold currency in the form of coins, the influence of gold in producing falsity, prostitution, etc. will automatically cease. There will be no need of an anti-corruption ministry for another term of prostitution and falsity of purpose.
Srila Prabhupada talks about economics now. Which time? When it was not there. It's a big thing, the world economics, if you see, it's all economic war now. It is all because of giving up the barter system and currency system, banking system. The banking system was introduced by few families, Rockefeller and all, in the world to control the entire world. Actually, entire Europe, the governments are all only puppets in the hands of few businessmen. And all the wars happen, everything happens just because of these bankers. Looting money happening on the name of banking system. And to make the banking system viable, then you have to have currency. Currency means that you just go on printing the notes. When you print more notes based on your gold reserves, that will be devalued. Because, for example, you have, say, 1 ton of gold, and you can only publish that much amount of currency. So then you print more currency. What happens? The value of the currency goes down. That is called devaluation. That's why it's called devaluation. Like you have the situation in Pakistan. Now it's around, the value of Pakistani rupees around 300 Pakistani rupees for $1. Why? Because they have to pay and there is no money. What they do? Print more notes, more currency. Either you print the currency or you just say, okay, in the bank you have this much currency, that's all. So in this way the notes are printed more, and in this way the value of the rupee or any other currency in the world falls down. And that is going to lead to misuse. Like if you go take a 100 rupee note and then go to the Reserve Bank and say, give me the gold worth this 100 rupees. Will they give? No. So it's cheating. I promise the bearer. It is written there, I promise the bearer. It's an empty promise. If you collect if everybody goes to Reserve Bank of India and say, give me that much of gold, they cannot. So the currency system is actually big cheating industry. The banking sector is the biggest cheating industry. Then loans. The countries, this much loan has been given. The whole economics is big confusion because of lack of barter system. And then if at all you want to have currency, it should be standard currency. Even during the time of the kings, it was gold coins only. So many Swarna Mudra, gold coins. It has value. Then if you start printing based on the gold, then paper, it is just paper. Even these days they are not printing coins also because it's more expensive. Once upon a time they are printing many coins. Those coins were more expensive than the figure on top of the coin. The 1 rupee coin would cost, the metal would cost more than 1 rupees. That is why they brought the paper. At least coins were there. So the gold, for example, you say you 10,000. The value of the gold is also 10,000. In this way, it is easy for transaction. But you, on the basis of gold, you start printing cash, then it's prostitution of gold. Prabhupada talks about prostitution of gold. Currency is nothing but prostitution of gold. Okay, next.
Purport, last paragraph of the purport. Gold ornaments for women may be allowed by control, not by quality but by quantity. This will discourage the lust, envy and enmity. How we can explain this?
This gold is something which is very much liked by women. if they don't have gold, then they'll become envious of others. So that is why gold is given during the time of marriage, so that every time something she feels bad about her, I'm not, I don't have anything. She looks at the gold and becomes very happy. I have it. Very difficult to understand, but it's a fact. It's a fact. Like envy is there, but it will be controlled. It will be controlled. Like for example, a child, 4 people, you just cannot you just cannot argue with them. Women, children, old people, mad people. There is no question of talking because they live on emotions. The child is crying. Then the father, the mother, they say, "Oh, take this." Then he becomes very happy. I got it. Something. So they require some substitute to relieve their agony, for at least for some time. So gold is something like that. Because they always want to boast that I have something. I don't know whether you really noticed or not in your family, in your relatives. Whenever something happens about we are poor people or something like that, so ऐसा तो नहीं हमारी शादी में हमारी माँ ने इतना दिया था, इतना तोला दिया था, सोना दिया था. So that becomes a source of some pleasure for them. So that is why it is control. Like for any living entity, conditioned soul, to keep them satisfied, you have to give something what they like. For a child, you have to give some khilona, some toy. In the same way, but the toy should be in such a way that it keeps things under control. Then you give a mobile to a kid to keep him under control. What is going to happen? He becomes crazy, isn't it? So something which will keep them under control also at the same time it will not drive them crazy. So there are certain necessities for a particular kind of living entities, and that needs to be satisfied. It's a art. It's culture. It's culture. Even poor people have gold. In India, we go to a very poor house. I still remember in my childhood, everybody had gold in their houses. Golden plates. We used to eat in golden plates. You only heard about it. In our village, gold and silver plates. Then later on, after some time, it became silver plates with a small golden patch in the middle. The screw kind of thing they put in it. Golden screw, and this fine. And later on, it became that brass plates, kanchu. And then it became steel. Now it became paper. So you can see, you go to a rich man's house, they give a paper plate. Silver or gold plates and glasses, and that was the standard in every house. I ate with golden plate in my childhood. I ate in a silver plate, silver glass. Milk was served in silver glass, and not just some silver. It's just very heavy. Very heavy. Those were the things which and it's not only our house, every house. When you go to a poor man's house, they had. And that is the thing which was looted by the British. They carried tons and tons and tons of gold, wood, just free of cost. I was in UK for 10 days. I saw the wealth of UK, all looted wealth, that's all. Looted from India and Africa. Wherever they had colonies, they looted. In Africa, how much gold was there? People used to wear only golden ornaments and walk around the street. They had no idea what this gold was. What is this? Once upon a time, 100 years back, I spoke to one Gujarati merchant. You know what he told? His father, his old man, his father, when he came to Africa, he had hired an helicopter, very expensive, and you had to go to deep jungles in Africa, and then the helicopter would land. They would do some bag of rice or something which they would not never heard. And those people just remove all the golden ornaments and just give to them. And not bring the gold. Because they live like that. And where did it go? Looted. So he kept something, and the British soldiers, they took it and went. And all the wood, they built houses, millions of houses were built. Free labor, free material, free gold, free wine, free woman. That's how practically UK and Europe, many parts of Europe were built, looted. And now they don't have, no, any more loot is not there. So whatever economy which they converted the gold into economy in the form of finance, dollars, pounds, they're trading that and living on that. UK doesn't produce anything. They have no exports. They don't grow anything. How will it become so rich, tell me? It's all looted money. It's all looted money. Gold. How much gold was looted from this land? You don't even imagine. Big ships, tons were went. I'm sure in your grandparents, great parents' houses, the only people who have gold now in India, you know who are? The fishermen. Once we had a Rath Yatra, not Rath Yatra, it's a boat yatra for the fishermen in Vasai. Vasai, there are a lot of fishermen there. So they all came, whole community joined. Jagannath Baldev Surya took Kirtan party, put in a boat. Now the woman came, big gold necklaces, big things, all gold. But they live in Jobarbatti. So, answering to your question, that is, it's a requirement for women to keep their envy under control. Like if you see somebody is very wealthy, you get envious. But when you come home and see the gold, okay, we also have, hamare paas bhi hai. So it doesn't explode. That's what, it's a cultural aspect.
This Prabhupada is sharing not by quality but quantity. That means Prabhupada want to tell that the quantity of gold should be sufficient for the woman, like that, not a quality.
He is referring to the imitation jewelry. Imitation jewelry.
And Prabhuji, I also heard in my childhood that previously people have some big amount of gold, and wherever they show, the people, government people, they will take away. So they dig the ground and put it down.
Looted. That is how the British looted country. They get their own kept. I know, it's looted. Looted. In our village, we had a huge tijori. Huge tijori. Only one part was filled with gold. Another part was all looted. That is how they opened the bank. In the banks, what they did was, they gave some cash, paper, and then kept gold. And naturally, they make sure that the produce is not purchased on time. So they all get spoiled. Famine, artificial famine was created. And the farmer cannot repay the currency. So what happens to the gold? Gone, swaha. That's how organized way of loot happened. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So, when there are many metals, so generally in the Vedic culture, gold is given like importance. So is there any reason for that, Roji? Why that is value?
It is not just Vedic culture. Vedic culture was there around the world. Anywhere around the world, the only commodity can be exchanged anytime, anywhere is gold. Anytime, anywhere. ATM. Actual real ATM is gold. You call a sonar and midnight 12 o'clock and tell I want to sell gold, he'll come with money. Anytime. It's the gold business is you cannot understand. Those who are into that, they actually know. Land and gold they will only sell when death is at doorsteps. Those who sold the land and the gold, now they are clerks. All those people in the US, they're working hard, they think they have a lot of money. If you see their grandparents, the amount of land they had, amount of gold they had, if they would have had this thing, they would not sold it for their education, so-called education, they would be more rich, 100 times more rich than now. I had given a very clear-cut calculation. What is the gold cost rate now? 50,000 rupees a tula? Something like that. Something like that is that. 50,000 tola. Not tola, gram. 50,000 is gram. Gram. Huh? You can find on the internet, gold rate today. You'll find that. About, say, 50 years back, they sold gold so that they can pay the fees for the son, which is hardly maybe a few hundred rupees. They sold land so that they can send their child to some place and then they can study. Now, that person what is earning now is insignificant compared to that gold and the land which one of relatives, he always say, we sold this land for 50,000 rupees. Now it is costing 50 crore. My father sold it. 50 crores. They sold it at the time for 50,000 rupees. And now the same land is 50 crores. Because the city has come. Like that. So much. So land and gold. That was a rule, Chanakya rule, that don't sell it until it's the desperate emergency that can. Now, our elder generation, means grandparents and the fathers of our generation, they did it. Now they are suffering for it.
Prabhu, here we see like the value of keeping gold. And here Prabhupada is also telling that ladies should be given some quantity. And then before we see that Kali will live in gold. So it sort of comes in mind that we should get rid of gold as soon as possible.
True.
Because Kali will come with that.
Kali is already there. Kali is already there.
So
for gold, Kali enters. So if you already have and satisfied with the gold what you have, Kali will not be so, he will not dance. Kali will be there, but he will not dance. Tandava will not be there. Kali Tandava will not be there. Isn't it? Live without gold, there should be nirapeksha for that. Isn't it? Okay. Barabar. Kanakabhisheka. The whole world used to come to India to purchase gold, you know that? How was gold sold? You have any idea how was the gold sold during Krishnadevara's time? On the street, on the right side, left side, they would be keeping just heaps and heaps of gold and different ornaments, and the people from different parts of the world would come and purchase it. ना सब्जी बेचते हैं ना, हाँ कुरुमुरा बेचते हैं ना, like that. Still that place is there. You go to Hampi, and the person will tell, the tourist will tell. You see, these are the shops on one line, shops on other line, exactly in front of Virupaksha temple. The huge street. And they would say, for example, you go and beer kharidna hai, ek beer taste karke dekho. Our gold is very nice. Why don't you take and see whether it's... That's how it was. This is land. Yeah, they would take the gold with in the exchange of diamonds, or in barter system was there. They used to bring some their own horses, different things. There, what is available in their land, they would come and give and take back, take the goods. I went to Bahrain. There are a lot of Gujarati shops there. Established, I could see, established in 1750. These shops, 1700s at the time. So many Gujaratis, it is very near. Gujarat port to Bahrain is very near. They used to go in ships. And then they would sell all the products there in exchange of what is available there, the dates and all. And they are crazy of a rupaya. The Britishers came rupaya. It was at that time, the rupee was a big thing for them. The Avara people, when they get the rupee, 1 rupee means they would be so happy, keep it in their safe. We have got that rupee, correct. Anyhow, let us go to further. 41st verse. Ritatane na seveta bubhushuhu. Bubhushuhu. What is the meaning of bubhushu? Bubhushuhu. Those who want to live. Bubhusha means one who has a desire to live. So, bubhushuhu, purusha kvachit, na seveta. Na seveta means should not serve them, means accept them. Na seveta. Those who want to live should not. Vishesh shato dharma shilo raja lokapatir guruhu. Especially Raja, kings, Dharmashilo means those who are religious, and those who are Lokapati, leaders, and Brahmanas, sannyasis should never come in contact with 4 mentioned about religious principles. This is the. But what to do? Kali Yuga is so prominent that this is what is happening. Vrishasya nashtam strin padan tapasaucham dayamiti prati sandatta ashwasya mahimcha samavartayat. Then what did he do? He restored the 3 legs which were lost by the bull. That is austerity, cleanliness and mercy. And what did he do for the cow? Mahimcha samavardhayat. He made the earth again prosperous, improved the condition of the earth. This is what Parikshit Maharaj did. Next. Sayeshayat tar adyasta asan prativyochitam pet Rajaranyam vivikshata aste dunasa rajarshe Ruendra shilolayam Gajavahaya mahabhagas Chakravarti brihachava. Now, Sayesha yetarhi adhyasta asan parthivochitam parthivochitam. Parthiva means king, Uchitam means as a king should be the Parikshit Maharaj, who he was entrusted by the kings of Hastinapura, Maharaj Yudhishthir, to become the king. When Yudhishthir Maharaj, he thought that I should leave now and go to the forest. Rajaranyam vivikshataha. He entrusted the kingdom to Parikshit Maharaj. is now ruling the world with great success due to his being glorified by the deeds of the kings of the Kuru dynasty. Gajavahe Mahabhaga Chakravarti Brihadshrava. He became very famous, Parikshit Maharaj. Brihadshrava. Prabhupada again talks about modern administrators want to banish corruption from the state, but fools as they are, they do not know how to do it. They want to issue license of gambling houses, wine, go on issuing license. Licensed shop. I was in Hyderabad on this weekend, last weekend. So there I saw Sri Lakshmi Narasimha wines. I did not find anybody else's name or what. Sri Lakshmi Narasimha wines. A huge rush in front of that wine shop. Nice big board, lights, tie the lights and all. What is this crazy? Yeah.
Last shloka, when Maharaj Parikshit saw this, then he re-established the lost legs. So was it like symbolic or how? Like Kali destroying?
It is one sense symbolic also, but Parikshit Maharaj could directly see. For us it is symbolic. For Parikshit Maharaj, he really made the legs come back, because he was seeing the personification dharma without 3 legs. But in one sense, 3 legs, for us it is symbolic. Because that is why it is mentioned, nobody could see, only Parikshit Maharaj could see the Kali, cow and the bull. And the conversation nobody could hear, only he could do that. Isn't it? So Parikshit Maharaj actually brought back Satyuga, when all the 4 legs are perfectly there. That is what is the meaning of this particular.
So Kali didn't destroy it physically. He was like, he basically challenged these things, or he encouraged gambling, all these things.
Yes.
It was not physical.
Yeah, he did it. In one, he restored means it is understood that he is restored in the country. By saying so, we should understand this is what is the thing which he did. Next, 45th verse. Ittam bhutanubhavo avimanyo suto nripa yasya palayataksosmin yuyam shatrasha dikshita. Ittam bhutanubhavoyam avimanyu suto nripaha. The king who is Abhimanyu Suta, who was actually Kshomin Palayataha Yasya, the earth which was being protected ruled by Parikshit. Yuyam Satraya Dikshita. He had such an authority that Satraya Dikshita. You continue the Satra. Constantly, you can do the sacrifice, Satraya Dikshita. That is, Parikshit Maharaj, son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced. Bhutanubhoyam, he is so experienced that by dint of his expert administration pattern, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this. Who is saying this thing? Sutta Goswami. Otherwise, do you think this sacrifice can be possible? It's not possible. Because of Parikshit Maharaj's administration, you are able to do that. So, administration is very much important to protect Brahmanical culture. If the kings are not involved in protecting dharma, very difficult to propagate dharma. So, you require a very good administrator for protecting Krishna consciousness. If the administrator is not good, then very difficult to propagate dharma. Now Raja Rishis are not there, so who else is there? Vaishya Rishis are there. So that is why you require Vaishyas to patronage. Don't expect anything from the government to help you in establishing dharma. They'll come and do abhishek and go away. That's all. You may get some benefit, some goodwill. That also, I don't know how long it's going to happen. But the real thing is, the power is in the hands of those money, Vaishya rishis. So they should be protecting the preaching movement. So read the purport and then we'll go to the next chapter.
The Brahmanas and the sannyasis are expert in the spiritual advancement of society, whereas the Kshatriyas or the administrators are expert in the material peace and prosperity of human society. Both of them are the pillars of all happiness, and therefore they are meant for full cooperation for common welfare. Maharaj Parikshit was experienced enough to drive away Kali from his field of activities and thereby make the state receptive to spiritual enlightenment. If the common people are not receptive, it is very difficult to impress upon them the necessity of spiritual enlightenment. Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, the basic principles of religion, prepare the ground for the reception of advancement in spiritual knowledge. And Maharaj Parikshit made this favorable condition possible. Thus the rishis of Naimisharanya were able to perform the sacrifices for 1,000 years. In other words, without state support, no doctrines of philosophy or religious principles can progressively advance. There should be complete cooperation between the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas for this common good. Even up to Maharaj Ashoka, the same spirit was prevailing. Lord Buddha was sufficiently supported by King Ashoka, and thus his particular cult of knowledge was spread all over the world. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali.
So till recently in our Sampradaya Acharyas also, whenever there was a king who was patronizing, the religion spread a lot. I mentioned about Krishnadeva. He was a big patron for the propagation of Vaishnavism. Like that many, wherever the kings took. That is why in South India you find huge temples. Who built those temples? The king, because he has got the entire wealth in his hands. He can tell, okay, build the temple, isn't it? Huh? In the same way, now can anybody think of building a temple like which is being built in Ayodhya, temple in Varanasi? Who can build? Only king can build, isn't it? So patronage of king is very much required. The kings are in the hands of Vaishyas. So patronage of Vaishyas is also required. Now, chapter 18. Yes.
Argument of how Prabhupada told that who will listen to this message and when India
You should get independence, isn't it? So that is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur told, that in the age of Kali there will be no Raja Rishis. There will be Vaishya Rishis. And Prabhupada caught hold of many Vaishya Rishis. Caught hold of many Vaishya Rishis. Yes.
So then is it necessary that we get a proper government and then only can we preach? Because we find even...
It is necessary for getting a proper government for propagating Krishna consciousness. But you cannot wait for the proper government to come to propagate Krishna consciousness. It is vice versa. By you propagating Krishna consciousness, proper government will come. There, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's objection was, don't wait for the time to come. Preach, the time will come. It is like you're waiting till you learn swimming for jumping into the pool. Once I learn swimming, then I'll jump into the pool. Is it intelligence? मैं स्विमिंग सीख के पानी में उतरूंगा. पहले सीख लो स्विमिंग, बाद में पानी उतरूंगा. साइकिल सीख लो, बाद में साइकिल में चढ़ूंगा. It doesn't work like that, isn't it? You jump into the water, then learn. It is not that you are waiting for learn to complete your learning, so jump in. No. In the same way, you preach and then make sure that make that some kind of favorable government will come. Make the government favorable by your preaching. Don't wait for the favorable government to come. That was the point of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, because preaching is transcendental and government is material. That was the point. But he was a person who sent one of his disciples to go and preach the king of Jaipur. Make him his disciple, then only show your face. That was the orders by Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Yes. Yeah.
This Maharaj Parikshit reestablished the lost legs of Kali, means lost legs of religion. So in that you are mentioning that it is symbolic also. So another thing is that it can it be factual also that some people of the kingdom, they are not following these three principles of religion, and then Maharaj Parikshit, as soon as understood this, he made the rule and
Yes,
recovered.
definitely. Both.
Both.
It is not just one, it is both. If you just say symbolic, then the conversation is also but it is clearly told that he saw, in the previous chapter, if he saw the bull, he saw the cow, he saw Kali, and they were talking. It is real, it is a conversation. Nobody else could do. So he was existing in higher dimensions. He had the higher dimensional vision. Like we say, Indra is happy. That is why he's giving rain, isn't it? Are you able to see Indra? You may say it is symbolic for you, but actually it is fact. Both. Because you cannot perceive certain things, you feel it is symbolic. There are certain explanations in the Bhagavatam which is symbolic. Anjasa, symbolic. Like Puranjanopakya. It's all symbolic. But there is a real philosophy behind it, isn't it? Okay, 18th chapter. Yes.
One of the sloka also says that when Parikshit Maharaj saw the symptoms, then he went around and conquered. So it's a real.
Yes, it's clear. It was there. He had entered. Okay. The Brahmana's curse. Suta uvacha yo vai dromyastra lupto namatur udare mritha anugrahat bhagavatah krishnasya buddha karmanaha krishnasya karmanaha. Then Sukadeva Goswami says, because of the mercy of Krishna, who is Anugrahat Bhagavataha Krishnasya Adbhuta Karmanaha. Krishnasya Adbhuta Karmanaha. What is the meaning of Krishnasya Adbhuta Karmanaha? One who performs wonderful acts. Adbhuta Karmanaha. Anugrahat, because of the mercy of Krishna. What happened? Yo vai dronyastra plushto na matur udare mritaha. When Drona, son, he shot an arrow, which is Brahmastra, Maharaj Parikshit, though he was struck by this arrow in the mother's womb, was not burnt. This was because of mercy of Krishna. So Sutta Goswami became very anxious that I want to describe about the story of Krishna, the story of Parikshit. Because such a great Parikshit, I want to tell his further greatness about his birth as well as the way he left the body. Next. Brahma ko vatidadyastu takshakat prana viplavat na sammumoro bhyadyat bhagavat arpitashaya. Not only that, Parikshit Maharaj. Now birth is described. Now he was Bhagavat Tarpitashaya, whose consciousness, life was completely surrendered to Bhagavan Krishna. Urubhayat, even though there was a Urubhaya, there was a great fear. He was na sammohorupapadyat ubayat urubhayat. Even in spite of urubhayat na sammoha, he was not disturbed. What was that bhaya? Brahma kopitad yastu takshakat prana viplavat. Because Brahmana has cursed. What was the curse? Takshakat prana viplavat. By the takshaka, snake is going to come and destroy. And because of that, it's a big bhaya. Suppose somebody gets a news in 1 week, you're going to die. Fear comes, isn't it? But Parikshit Maharaj was not fearful. Why? What was the reason for his not being fearful? Bhagavat Tarpitashayaha, because you surrendered to Krishna. Read the purport.
A self-surrendered devotee of the Lord is called Narayana Parayana. Such a person is never afraid of any place or person, not even of death. For him, nothing is as important as the Supreme Lord, and thus he gives equal importance to heaven and hell. He knows well that both heaven and hell are creations of the Lord. Similarly, life and death are different conditions of existence created by the Lord. But in all conditions and in all circumstances, remembrance of Narayana is essential. The Narayana Parayana practices this constantly. Maharaj Parikshit was such a pure devotee. He was wrongfully cursed by an inexperienced son of a Brahmana who was under the influence of Kali. Maharaj Parikshit took this to be sent by Narayana. He knew that Narayana, Lord Krishna, had saved him when he was born in the womb of his mother. And if he were to be killed by a snake bite, it would also take place by the will of the Lord. The devotee never goes against the will of the Lord. Anything sent by Lord is a blessing for the devotee. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was neither afraid of nor bewildered by such things. That is the sign of a pure devotee of the Lord.
Okay, next. Utsrajya sarvata sangam vijñāti jādita samstitihi vaiyāsikir jaho shishyo Gangāyam Samkalevaram. Now he became Sishya of Vaiyasaki. Sishya of whom? Sukadeva Goswami. What did he do? The third glory is described. When he heard the news that I am going to leave the body, Utsrajya Sarvata Sangam. He gave up all kinds of association, all his attachments. Vijñāti jādita samstitihi. Then he is going to Vijñāti ajita samstitihi. Being understood that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vaiyasike Jaho Shishyo. He became the disciple of Vaiyasaki. Gangāyam Swam Kalevaram. He went to the bank of Ganga for giving up his body. Swam Kalevaram. Realizing the Lord, for realizing the Lord is a time of death. Now it's a time for me to realize Krishna. In this way he went. So read the purport.
The word Ajita is significant here. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is known as Ajit, or unconquerable, and he is so in every respect. No one can know his actual position. He is unconquerable by knowledge also. We have heard about his dham, or place, eternal Goloka, Vrindavan. But there are many scholars who interpret this abode in different ways. But by the grace of a spiritual master like Sukadev Goswami, unto whom the king gave himself up as most humble disciple, one is able to understand the actual position of the Lord, his eternal abode and his transcendental paraphernalia in the dham or abode. Knowing the transcendental position of the Lord and the transcendental method by which one can approach that transcendental dham, the king was confident about his ultimate destination, and by knowing this, he could leave aside everything material, even his own body, without any difficulty of attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Param Dishta Nivartate. One can give up all connection with material attachment when one is able to see the Param or the superior quality of things. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand the quality of the Lord's energy that is superior to the material quality of energy. And by the grace of a bona fide spiritual master like Sukadev Goswami, it is quite possible to know everything of the superior energy of the Lord, by which the Lord manifests his eternal name, quality, pastimes, paraphernalia, and variegatedness. Unless one thoroughly understands the superior or eternal energy of the Lord, it is not possible to leave the material energy. However, one may theoretically speculate on the true nature of the absolute truth. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was able to receive the mercy of such a personality as Sukadev Goswami, and thus he was able to know the actual position of the unconquerable Lord. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literatures, but it is very easy to know him by the mercy of liberated souls like Sukadev Goswami.
Nice. नोत्तमश्लोकवार्तानां दृष्टां तत्कथामृतं स्यात् सम्भ्रामोऽन्तकालेऽपि स्मरतां तत्पदाम्बुजम्. Smaratam tat padambujam. Those who remember the lotus feet of Krishna, number one. Number two, tat katamritam jushtam, who relish the pastimes of Krishna by concentrating on the Lord. Now, syat sambhramo antakalepi, even at the time of death, na sambhramo, they are not disturbed. They are not disturbed. So to summarize the glory of Parikshit Maharaj, the spiritual glory of Parikshit Maharaj. Previous chapter talked about his material glory. Of course, there is nothing material in one sense. The greatness of Parikshit Maharaj is because he is not disturbed even at the time of death, because of these three things. Uttama shloka vartanam jushtam tatkatamritam. Because he was completely engrossed in hearing about the pastimes of Krishna. And at the same time, smaratam tatpadambujam, because of he constantly meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna. Uttama shloka vartanam. Okay. Next. Yeah. There are certain verses which are going to be Gangayam Swakalevaram Jaho Shishyo. He went to give up his body. But for that you have to go to the 12th canto. Parikshit Maharaj delivered at that time. There are certain verses which talk about how Takshaka came and bid and Parikshit Maharaj left the body. But those verses are for the Asura Moha. There are certain verses in the Bhagavatam which talks of Asura Moha. Those are not qualified to bewilder them with understanding, proper understanding. Actually, Parikshit Maharaj in Samadhi, and he went back home, back to Vadita Krishna. Takshaka came and bit the dead body of Parikshit. Because how can a snake bite a person who is hearing Bhagavatam? That has to be kept in mind. Next. Tavat kalirna prabhavet pravishtopi sarvata yavad isho mahan urvyam abhimanyava ekarat. Yavat abhimanyava ekarat. Abhimanyu means son of Abhimanyu. Yavat, as long as Abhimanyu's son, Urvyam, the great personality, Isho, Yavad Isho, Ekarat, he is the king of the entire earth. Tavat Kalirna Prabhavet. Kali had no influence. Pravishto Piha Sarvataha. Though he had entered everywhere, Sarvataha, he could not influence anyone. So the king has a great role in making sure the Kali will not influence people. Next. Yasmin Niryeva Bhagavan Utsarjagam Tad Eva Amrutosva Adharma Prabhava Kalihi. When did Kali Yuga start? On the day when Krishna, he left the planet. Yasmin ahanyar eva Bhagavan utsa sarjagam. When Gam, in his world, he left and went Yamat, Yasmin ahni, that particular time, Tadeveya anurutto swa adharma prabhava kalihi. Kali, the source of all the irreligion, entered the world. That is the time it entered the world. Nanudveshti kalim smarat sangra iva saradruk kushalyanyasu sityanti netarani kritaniyat. Kali Yuga started 3102 BC. And you add how many? 2023. How many years back? 5,102 plus 23. 23 plus 2, 20, 25. 5,125. Isn't it, Barabar? 2020, na? 23. 2023, like that. So in this way you can calculate the time. Of course, there is a confusion regarding this because in the English calendar certain things were changed. One or few days are missing because of some reason. Of course, our astrologers have taken that into consideration also. This AD, BC, there's a confusion. We don't want to get into those details. Krishna stayed for 125 years. So you add 125 to it, how much it becomes? Now it is 23, and 102 you add 1, 5. Again you add 125 years. And date of birth of Krishna, Krishna's date of birth. Add 125 more to it. It becomes 5,250 approximately, something like that. Okay. 7th. Nanudveshtigalim smarat saranga iva sarabhuk kushalyanyasu sityanti netarani kritaniya. Nanudveshtigalim samrat saranga iva sarabhuk kushalanyasu siddhanti netarani kritani yat. the king did not kill Kali. He was like what? Saranga. Saranga iva. Saranga means he was like a saranga, like a honeybee. Saranga. Saranga iva. Sarabhuk. What does the honeybee do? Just take the essence. So Parikshit Maharaj was also like that. He was Sarabhuk. Kushalanyasu siddhyanti netarani kritaniyat. Because he understood the time was auspicious. The auspicious act bear results just by deciding to do so. Very interesting. Kali Yuga, it's a good time. It's a good time. That is why he got Sarabhuk. He took the essence. He did not say Kali Yuga has come, nonsense Yuga, this Yuga. He did not. Kachra Jaga hai, not a good time. No, Parikshit Maharaj told a very nice time now. What is the speciality of Kali Yuga? In spite of all the presence of Kali, Kushalan yashu siddhyanti netarani kritani yatta. Kushalani means the pious activities. Just by thinking about some pious activity, you will get the result. I am giving charity of 1 lakh rupees. Just think about it. You will get the benefit of it. I am going to kill you. Thinking of it will not give you. Unless you will kill a person. So in the mind, if you do some pious activity, you will get the results in a gross way. But in the mind, if you do impious activity, you will not get the result. But unless you perform in a gross way. Just imagine, for all the subtle sins, you get the gross result. Parikshit Maharaj was so happy. Hey, Sara, that is Saranga. That is why it's compared to a honeybee who took the essence. Kamal grows in Kichad. Kali Yuga is full of Kichad. But he took the essence. One good thing in the age of Kali is this. Similarly, Kalo doshani de rajan asti eko mahan guna kirtanadeva Krishna says. So even those in the age of Satya would like to take birth. Kalo bhavishyanti. In the age of Kali they want to take birth because there are so many devotees glorifying Krishna. Which is the best of all yugas? Kali Yuga. Because it is just by chanting you can attain what others could attain after thousands of years of tapasya. Read the purport.
The age of Kali is called the fallen age. In this fallen age, because the living beings are in an awkward position, the Supreme Lord has given some special facilities to them. So by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of a sinful act until the act is actually performed. In other ages, simply by thinking of performing sinful act, one is to become a victim of that act. On the contrary, a living being in this age is awarded with the result of pious acts simply by thinking of them. Maharaj Parikshit, being the most learned and experienced king, by the grace of the Lord was not unnecessarily envious of the personality of Kali because he did not intend to give him any chance to perform any sinful act. He protected his subjects from falling prey to the sinful acts of the age of Kali, and at the same time he gave full facility to the age of Kali by allotting him some particular places. At the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that even though all nefarious activities of the personality of Kali are present, there is a great advantage in the age of Kali. One can attain salvation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Thus Maharaj Parikshit made an organized effort to propagate the chanting of the Lord's holy name, and thus he saved the citizen from the clutches of Kali. It is for this advantage only that great sages sometimes wish all good for the age of Kali. In the Vedas also it is said that by the discourse on the Lord Krishna's activity, one can get rid of all disadvantages of the age of Kali. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also said that by the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord becomes at once arrested within one's heart. These are some of the great advantage of the age of Kali, and Maharaj Parikshit took all the advantage and did not think any ill of the age of Kali, true to his Vaishnavite cult.
Yes, some of the great advantages of Kali, and Maharaj Parikshit took all the advantage and did not think of the ill of age of Kali. It's true to his Vaishnavite cult. Vaishnava is Saragrahi. Vaishnava is Saragrahi. Saranganam Iveshtuhu Saranga. Like a bee. Now, next. Kim nu baleshu surena kalina dhira bhurina apramatta pramatteshu yovruko nushu vartade. Now, apramattaha pramatteshu yovruko nushu vartate kim nu baleshu surena kalina dhira bhurina. Maharaj Parikshit considered that the less intelligent men might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, but that those who are self-controlled have nothing to fear. The king was powerful like a tiger and took care of the foolish, careless persons. So, Kali was attentive like a tiger. For whom Kali was attentive? For those who are apramatteshu. Apramatta means those who are apramatta. Pramatta, apramatta. Pramatta means careless. Apramatta means careful. So those who are careful, Kali would not do anything. But for those who are pramatteshu, Vrika nrishu vartate. How does the Kali? It is very attentive to them. If you are careful, Kali is not attentive to you. If you are careless, Kali becomes very attentive. So, the king, he knew this very well. So, he had special affection for those who are careless. Like sometimes we find some special attention is given to some devotee, even though he is a mischief monger. Why special attention is given to him? He is getting more mercy, he is giving more attention. He requires it, bhai. You go to a hospital, you'll find the doctor is giving more time to a patient than you. Why? Because he requires more attention, not you. Same way, our Parikshit Maharaj was very merciful to those who are baleshu, surena kalina, dhira bhurina. Kali was very an attentive tiger, inattentive man. But for the innocent people, Parikshit Maharaj very much caring for them. Next. Upavarnitam ye tattvaha punyam parikshitam maya vasudeve kutupetam akhyanam prichata. Now till now I described to you. What did I describe to you? Upavarnitam ye tattvaha punyam parikshitam maya. I described about Parikshit Maharaj to you because you had aprichataha, because you asked about Parikshit Maharaj. Whatever you asked concerning Parikshit, I described. Now you asked me, you remember, you asked me if it is connected to Krishna. Vasudeva Katopedam Akhyanam Yata Prachataha. And this story of Parikshit Maharaj is very much connected to Vasudeva Krishna. That is why I have described the story to you. Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of activities of the Lord, and the activities of the Lord perform in relation to the devotees of the Lord. Therefore, the history of the devotee is non-different from the history of Krishna's activities. The devotee of the Lord regards both activities of the Lord and those of pure devotees on equal level, for they are all transcendental. Bhakta Katha and Bhagavat Katha. Bhakta Katha and Bhagavat Katha. I spoke about them in the beginning, and now it ends now, this Bhakta Katha and Bhagavat Katha. Then they say, Ya Katha Bhagavata Katani Nuru Karmana Guna Karma Shraya Pumbhe Samsevayasta Bubhushubihi. Again the word Bubhushubihi. Bubhushu means what? Those who want to live. Live means those who want to have a desire to live. Bubhushaya. Those who want to exist. Those who want to live. Those who live means those who live happily. What they should do? Ya Katha Bhagavata Kataniya Urukramaha Gunakarma Ashraya Pumbhir Samsevayata Bubhushubihi. Bubhushubihi, those who desire, Bubhushi Samseva. They should Samsevaya, they should hear the topics of Guna, Karma, Shraya, Guna and Karma, qualities and activities of Krishna. Who Kataniyoru Karmanaha. These topics, Uru Karmanaha, means these are worthy topics to hear. They should constantly hear. Those who desire good for themselves. Again, the word systematic came. Prabhupada always uses systematic. Read the purport.
The systematic hearing of the transcendental activities, qualities, and name of Lord Sri Krishna pushes one towards eternal life. Systematic hearing means knowing Him gradually in truth and fact. And this knowing Him in truth and fact means attaining eternal life, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita.
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvata tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna.
Such a transcendental glorified activities of Lord Sri Krishna are the prescribed remedy of contracting the process of birth, death, old age, and diseases, which are considered to be material awards for the conditional living being. The culmination of such perfectional stage of life is a goal of human life and the attainment of transcendental bliss.
Rishayauchuhu Sudha Jiva Sama Saumyam Shashvatir Vishadam Yashaha Yastvam Samshasi Krishnasya Martyanam Amritam Hinaha. All rishis, they say to whom? Sutta Goswami. Rishayauchuhu. Oh Sutta Goswami, Suta Jiva Sama Saumya. Oh Saumya, very humble. You are very humble. Shama means Saumya, Jiva. You live for hundreds of years. Jug Jug Jio. In the first chapter also they say, what do they say? First chapter also they give blessings. You live for hundreds and hundreds of years. What is that verse? Tai gadad mune pratavutagnya satkritam sutamasinam prapracharimarada rishe uchu tvaya kalpuranani saitihasani chanagakhyatyani dharmashastranyanyuta यानिमेद्विदां श्रेष्ठो भगवान् बादरायणः अन्ये च मुनिश्रोता परावरवद वेत्तत्वं समतत्सर्वं तत्तत्त्वमग्रहात् भूयसिद्धशिष्याभोगभिमृता तत्र तत्राञ्जसायुष्मान् आयुष्मान् भवतादि विनिश्चितं. Who is blessing whom? The students are blessing the teacher. Because Vatsalya was there, because Sutta Goswami is very young. Says and Naimisharani were elderly. So they had this thing. So they say, oh, you live for hundreds of years, Jug Jug Jio. Jug Jug. Actually, it's Yugu Yugu Jio. It becomes Jug Jug actually. When the Punjabis say Yug, it becomes Jug. Now, Shashwati Dvishadam Yashaha. Eternal life you live for thousands and thousands of years. Why? Yastam Samshasi Krishnasya. You spoke about Krishna to us. And you spoke to us who are mortals. What did you speak? Krishnasya. You spoke about Krishna to us, who are all Martyanam Amritam Ivaha, and this Martyanam, we are all about to die. But Krishna Katha is like a Amrita for us. So it is nice that you spoke to us, that is why we are very much happy. Next. Karmanyasminnanashvase dhuma dhumatmanam bhavan abhayayati govinda pada padmasavam madhu. Wow, nice verse, beautiful verse. Pada padmasavam madhu. We were performing karmani, which is anashvase. Anashvase means what? No guarantee of any result. In karma, the problem is there is no guarantee of result. On the other hand, bhakti, there is a guarantee of result. So we were performing karmani asmin anashvase. If at all there was any result, what was the result? Dhuma dhumrat manam bhavan. What was the result? Smoke. The smoke has entered eyes, it become red, tears came down, the whole body has become smoke, and because of that, the whole body became dark. Now, to such people who are doing something which has no guarantee of results, the only result was only blackening our body. What did you make? Apaya yati. Apaya means you made us drink. What did you drink? What did you make us drink? Govinda pada padmasavam madhu. Make us drink the madhu. Madhu means honey. Which honey? Govinda. Padmasanam. So this gives Govinda Padma. Govinda, the nectar of the lotus feet of Govinda. So read the purport, very interesting purport.
The sacrificial fire kindled by the sages of Naimisaranya was certainly full of smoke and doubts because of so many flaws. The first flaw is that there is acute scarcity of expert Brahmana able to carry out such performance successfully in this age of Kali. Any discrepancy in such sacrifices spoils the whole show, and the result is uncertain. Like agricultural enterprises, the good result of tilling the paddy field depends on providential rain, and therefore the result is uncertain. Similarly, performance of any kind of sacrifice in this age of Kali is also uncertain. Unscrupulous, greedy Brahmanas of the age of Kali induce the innocent public to such uncertain sacrificial shows without disclosing the scriptural injunctions that in the age of Kali there is no fruitful sacrificial performance but the sacrifice of the congregation chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Sutta Goswami was narrating the transcendental activities of the Lord before the congregation of sages, and they were factually perceiving the result of hearing these transcendental activities. One can feel this practically, as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. The sages of Naimisaranya were practically sufferers from the smoke of sacrificial fire and were doubtful about the result. But by hearing from a realized person like Sutta Goswami, they were fully satisfied. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Vishnu tells Shiva that in the age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds can vainly labor in fruitive activity and philosophical speculations. But when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss of energy. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without devotional service to the Lord.
Yes. Now, what to speak of association for long time hearing from you? Great devotees association, even if it is for one lava. That is why this famous word comes. Tulayamalavena na swargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya tyanam kimutashishaha. Tulayama, comparison. Lavenapi, even a moment's association with Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya. Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya. What is the meaning of Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya? Bhagavat Sangi means devotee. Sangha means association. Association of a person who is associating with the Supreme Lord. Even Lavenapi, even little bit Lavenapi, cannot be compared to na Swargam, cannot be compared to Swarga. Na Punarbhavam cannot be compared to liberation. If that is the case, Mrityanam Kimutashisha, how can be compared to something material benefits of this world? Isn't it? Very important words to be memorized. You can memorize these words. So we should not compare the results of karma or attaining swarga or even liberation even to the small particle of association of devotees. What to speak of the kingdom of this world? Because the association of devotees is very rare. That association develops the seed of sadhana bhaktinas, and ultimately it develops prema. What to speak of association with devotees who have attained prema, even association with those who are doing sadhana, that itself is big. Sadhakas. So in this way, we know that the words of association, devotees, glories of association with devotees spoken in these particular words. Read the purport.
When there are some similar points, it is possible to compare one thing to another. One cannot compare the association of a pure devotee to anything material. Men who are addicted to material happiness aspire to reach the heavenly planets like the moon, Venus and Indraloka. And those who are advanced in material philosophical speculations aspire after liberation from all material bondage. When one becomes frustrated with all kinds of material advancement, one desires the opposite type of liberation, which is called apunar bhuva, or no rebirth. But the pure devotees of the Lord do not aspire after the happiness obtained in the heavenly kingdom, nor do they aspire after liberation from material bondage. In other words, for the pure devotees of the Lord, the material pleasures obtainable in the heavenly planets are like phantasmagoria. And because They are already liberated from all material conceptions of pleasure and distress. They were factually liberated even in the material world. This means that the pure devotees of the Lord are engaged in the transcendental existence, namely in the loving service of the Lord, both in the material world and in the spiritual world. As a government servant is always the same either in the office or at home or at any place. So a devotee has nothing to do with anything material, for he is exclusively engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. Since he has nothing to do with anything material, what pleasure can be derived from material benedictions like kinship or other overlordships, which are finished quickly with the end of the body? Devotional service is eternal, it has no end because it is spiritual. Therefore, since the assets of a pure devotee are completely different from material assets, there is no comparison between the two. Sutta Goswami was a pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his association with the rishis in Naimisharanya is unique. In the material world, association with gross materialists is veritably condemned. The materialist is called Yoshit Sangi, or one who is much attached to material entanglement, women and other paraphernalia. Such attachment is conditioned because it derives away the benedictions of life and prosperity. And just the opposite is Bhagavata Sangi, or one who is always in the association of the Lord's name, form, qualities, etc. Such association is always desirable. It is worshipable, it is praiseworthy, and one may accept it as the highest goal of life.
So association with devotee is bhakti, one of the angas of bhakti. That is why bhaktya sanjayate bhakti. Bhakti comes from bhakti. Somebody may say, oh, where did bhakti come from? Because of association of devotees, there is a cause for bhakti. But association of devotee itself is a bhakti. In this way, bhaktya sanjayate bhakti. So we stop here. We'll meet at 2:30 to hear more verses from the Naimisharan Rishis who glorify Krishna Katha. And then the storyline starts. Parikshit Maharaj being cursed and all, the storyline starts. Okay. Hare Krishna.